afternoon, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are. My name's Katie O, and this is Moon Mama Musings. Welcome back to another energy people for today, the 5th of November, 2021. Today we have our new moon in Scorpio in the wee hours here over in Thailand at 4:14 a.m. Bangkok time. How lovely. For some of you guys, this does occur on the 4th of November as well, just as a side note, just depending on where you are in the world. But new moon, a new moon, how delightful. I'm not going to get too much into the moon because I'll do that more in the, there will be, keep an eye out for a special new moon reading over on YouTube, here on YouTube. And I will also, but a new moon, it's in Scorpio. So it's about creating, it's about laying down our intentions for how we want to transform and how we want to be reborn. Laying down the blueprints for the house we want to build, planning out the route we want to take on the map, making a plan, all of that wonderful stuff. There's big transformations for us lately, and we are definitely with this new moon getting real about sort of like the possibility of how we move forward with this in light of this great transformation. I got really good imagery of like somebody really tactile expression, like writing something down or singing. No idea what that was. Weird. A painting, sculpting, building something, whatever it is, just like some sort of like actually bringing things into 3D fruition, like creating something, but physically, like something is being born right now, but it's an actual physical, touchable thing. A lot of you have been experiencing a lot of the energy of like feeling like something's coming, like having these intuitions that, there's something greater, right? I do believe that we are really, 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 truly bringing things from the 5 to the 3D. So congratulations, my friends. The resolve is necessary and it's a hard road, but you're doing great. All right. Today we have very importantly, Venus is transiting to the sign of Capricorn. All right. So Venus in Sagittarius was really goal oriented and like looking at the bigger picture of things. And now Scorpio, Venus in the sign of Capricorn is bringing us the desire for stability and for commitment. Yeah, and that can be in whatever Venusian energies, whether it be money, whether it be relationships, whether it be art and creation, whether it be passion, whatever it is. We want to get things nice and ready and secure to be able to last a long time. It can make us feel a little bit sort of reserved or aloof sometimes, because we might kind of only hide our passion. We might actually hide our passion only to be revealed when the situation feels secure to us, right? It's like we're not gonna say that we are huge, that we love pineapple on pizza, unless we know that the people around us are not going to shit on us for liking pineapple on pizza. It's a really crappy example, but you know what I mean. It's like you need to feel secure in your space before you're able to fully divulge your secrets, before you're able to be fully authentic. So you may feel reserved and aloof in this season, but it's because we've done a lot of work to sort of work on our own personal interior stability. So now that we are testing the waters with new situations, new places, new things, new people, we want to just make sure that they are going to be conducive for our inner state, that they are going to help cultivate our authenticity and help us continue to create stable structures for ourselves with regard to our inner being in order to have them manifest in the fruition, in the 3D. There's like a magnetism towards strong personalities and standpoints in this time as well. So like you might have very strong opinions on something, and you might be gravitated towards people that have strong opinions as well, whether it be to discuss or to agree or to disagree, whatever it may be. But we do feel very drawn to things that have long-standing, lasting power, that have strength, that have firm palpability, With Capricorn energy, we could also sort of like be faced firmly with our shadows with regards to Venusian energy. So that devil vibes, right? Capricorn is the sign of the devil card in the tarot, which it can be conflicting, it can be confusing, it can be emotionally challenging. But in the end, if we look at the devil in terms of it's the way that we seek out the hidden places where we want to keep things hidden and actually shine light on them in order to transmute them and heal them. So like we might be dealing really strongly with unraveling addictive tendencies or unproductive mindsets and ideals with regards to our Venusian energy. So our money, our creativity, and our love. Let's just boil it down to those three, just to be simple. It's got a lot of implications, but I mean, yeah. It can be our feminine energy as well. So maybe your shadow side of your femininity is going to be very much thrown in your face in the coming weeks, and you're going to be challenged to transmute it so that there's more stable structure in your life. Yeah. So yeah, that one's really important. And now we have several aspects that I want to talk about, 2, 4, 6 different aspects that are very present today on the 5th of November. So the moon is in conjunction with the sun. Now this is the energy of a new moon. A new moon is when the sun and the moon are together, one on top of the other. It's the darkest nights. It's when the sun and the moon are together. Obviously at night there's no visible moon, so it gets quite dark. It's a trough, it's an ebb of the energy, but not in a like stagnancy state, in a just, it has to be quiet for a minute so that we have the space to make the creations that we desire. So our subconscious and our exterior is working together and collaboratively towards what does this say? Palpable transformation in Scorpio. All right, so it's both in the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is about transformation, and when these two are together for this new moon, it's about creating this safe space that we can transform the way that we sort of phase things out and replace them with new. The way that we're reborn, the way that we transform things, the way that we recycle things, the ways that things die and are reborn, etc., etc. Conjunctions are invasions of the body snatchers, right? So our ego can risk being a little bit intense, but it can also just really create a beautiful, conducive energy for our intuition and our subconscious to meet our exterior, and for us to be able to put that inner watery feminine energy on the forefront and show people a very balanced sense of ourselves. Now, the moon is also in opposition with Uranus. So the tower energy and the change around us can really put a strain on our resolve and make us feel quite volatile. All right. Our subconscious is being pushed and pulled by the way that the things have been crumbling down, and we might be feeling really unsafe in a lot of ways. Yeah. Because it's like when the tower comes down, you might not have a shelter for a while. You might be feeling vulnerable, exposed. These big changes and big sudden, well, not so sudden because we are talking Uranus retrograde, right? These big changes with regards to our security and our stability and our Taurian energies, they're can take our emotions for a loop, right? But with an opposition, it's the tug of war. So we do have a choice. We do have choices which way we go. So we're called very much to go with the flow as these things change. Yeah, to allow the fluctuating energy in, and to see how it presents itself, and then reevaluate thereafter. And we're going to bring back that energy all the way at the end of this peephole, because I believe that reevaluation thereafter comes into play again. So before that, though, the moon is also trining Neptune. So we could feel very prophetic at the moment in a certain way. It could change the game in a lot of ways, that our intuition is really speaking to us differently than it once did. It's like you might have heard your little whispers within you and interpreted them as one way. And now we're seeing very much how our expansion of self has taken away the bad constructs that made us see through a foggy window, like with Neptune, that made us misunderstand what our heart song was saying, and maybe made us put expectations on things through our intuition that we've maybe we maybe might have like, it's almost like you picked the first thing that presented itself to you in a certain way. It's like you knew that there was an energy of, you had this like prophecy about something changing in your life, almost like this inner feeling. And as soon as something came up that kind of quacked like a duck, you were like, that's it. But now we're seeing how that maybe could have led us astray. The detours are always to learn lessons, so I don't feel like it's a really bad thing. But I do feel that in this aspect, we might be feeling still, again, a little bit sort of emotional. I mean, Scorpio is a water sign, right? It's a different kind of water sign. Yeah, but it's a water sign. And maybe sometimes we might be wanting to hide our emotions or put up tough exteriors with regards to all of this stuff. But we are very, here we go. We got, what does it say? We're feeling into downloads or intuition in an open way to encourage the growth needed to sort of navigate these transformations. Yeah, and I do think that this is very much growing through. Because like we worked a little bit, like this circuit definitely worked a bit about listening to their intuition, but now actually interpreting its messages are sort of the deals that we're or the themes that we're dealing with now, is being able to, yes, not only hear the intuition and the subconscious speak to us, not only hear our heart song, or the universe speak to us, or whatever it is that you want to attribute it to, but also being able to speak the language and understand that, just because it's talking about a common, like a certain feeling, just because somebody makes you feel that feeling or something or whatever, because you can recognize the signature of this intuition that you've had, it doesn't mean that it's always sort of really true to it. So maybe we're seeing things a little bit differently in that too. Now, my advice to you is just being realistic right now. You can be a little bit, just be as realistic as you can, and try and hash out what you have to. And I was hearing, like, definitely just, like, if auto writing is something that you like, try and journal, talk to someone you trust, express yourself in whatever way that you can to sort of like bring in that sense of realism. I think it's going to be really important for you to have people close to you in this time, especially today for this new moon, just so that you you have the good people in your corner, so that when you do feel this massive transformation coming, you know that even if it beats you up a little bit, at least you're going to have really beautiful support. All right, the moon is also squaring Jupiter, and I heard this is now or never. All right, and our optimism is feeling very challenged right now. We're having a hard time feeling optimistic about something. Yes, it's a boundary and it's an obstacle, but we are being called very much right now. It's now or never, and it's time to transmute this energy. Our optimism needs to be properly founded, and it is most exalted when we identify the correct thing to be optimistic about. Okay, and when you do find something that your optimism sings about, you evaluate it and you go, okay, I see that this is different than other things that I felt optimistic before in the past, because A, Y, ABC, then you really do get confirmation of your own healing and your own ability to remove boundaries and obstacles from your path, and continue to grow and expand in some beautiful, lucky, serendipitous, universally guided way. All right. The moon is also sextiling Pluto. So Pluto loves all this Scorpio energy right now. Obviously, it's the planet that rules the sign of Scorpio. So it might be big changes, but we're also doing, like, we do feel the healing through the hardship, is what I heard. I like that, healing through the hardship. It's definitely, it can be very, very, very challenging and conflicting, but it is definitely healing us with this sextile. Yeah, again, it being brought back to think about this sort of tower energy where something comes crumbling down, but now with our Venus in Capricorn, we are looking very much to see what things are going to have staying power and that actually have structural stability. So the sextile is a healing energy, and we are definitely transforming and moving and shaking. And yeah, maybe we're in our feels about it, but yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're getting in there, even if it's scary. And last but not least, now I want to bring back, before we had the moon in opposition with Uranus, right? Well, obviously the moon and the sun are conjunct when we're in a new moon. So the sun is also opposite Uranus, and I want to talk about that. at the end of this to sort of sum it all up. Because the sun is about our ego, about our way that we present ourselves to the world, about our sense of self, our drive, our light. Yeah. So I talked a little bit about this in live yesterday. It was about transmuting the sense of the ego. It's about understanding that ego is important for our existence. Yeah, if we didn't have fight or flight mechanism, we might not know not to touch the stove when it's hot. We might not know that we need to run away when a rabid animal is chasing us, and that could put us into danger, right? So we're being called right now to evaluate the structures of that light that we exude. Yeah, an opposition with Uranus is this tug of war, right? But the thing is that with the moon and the sun both in this, is that we've got a great team working towards these integrating these changes really well. All right. So our ego could be tempted to react right now. Okay, but maintaining kind of this soft understanding of how the ego can push out us productively can be the best way of keeping this energy productive and in the forefront, to heal the toxic senses of our ego, to debunk the ideas we have about maybe masculinity, to just try and keep us in a receptive state and not get too overgiving or overdoing or overcompensating or spreading yourself too thin. So you're on a team now, I'm hearing. Some of you guys have really, really found your tribe, and you have a team supporting you, and you are more aware of it than ever. And this Uranus playing tug of war with our sun and our moon right now is trying desperately to make us realize how much that is important for the integration of these new senses of self, as well as our new emotional and subconscious structures that help us align with our true goals and not just fly by the seat of our pants and turn in circles. All right. Lovely stuff. It's a good new moon. New moons are always great for creating intentions. Okay, so do whatever you have to do. Maybe it's write something down, maybe it's paint a picture, maybe it's sing a song. But however, I just encourage you guys to remember that when you speak something, it can be a spell to the universe. You're like a lovely little wizard or witch or magician or whatever you want to identify with. And using your words, expressing yourself, even to a certain degree, thinking things and being emotionally attached to those thoughts. This is how we manifest. This is how we create. And we have to be careful what we wish for, right? And we have to be careful how we engage in our self-talk. We have to be careful about how we speak to our peers and how we express ourselves from our heart in order to be mindful of how we are manifesting. As above, so below was one of the major themes of the live yesterday, which covers the energy for this moon transit through Scorpio, which lasts about 3 days. So make sure that you are speaking your authentic truth to align with the things that your authentic truth truly needs to continue to cultivate itself and to share with the world your beautiful bee. Let's get a card of the day. We're using the Wild Unknown Archetypes Oracle deck. We have the Sustainer. I love this energy because it tells us about fortification, tells us about creating beautiful, necessary boundaries in order to be able to truly create and bring together things that we need and desire and see the value in the creative processes that we undergo in order to become who we really are. This is number 24, which breaks to a 6, which again shows us about really heart-centered stuff. We've got a lot of blue and purple in this card. And the blue and the purple tells me a lot about your throat chakra expression. And the purple is all about intuition, seeing, not seeing the reality of situations through our sort of intrinsic animalistic side. And the yellow of this square always tells me a little bit about using a balanced solar plexus chakra to cultivate the self-worth, the drive, the determination, the the real inner strength to actually be able to create space for yourself to create the life that you desire. Okay. Under the deck, we have the shaman. So you may be seeking help from spiritual healers. You may be one yourself. Either way, there is this very divine and energetic aligning of the stars, I'm hearing, to sort of bring you to this space where you can truly create. Let's get a few from the bag of tricks and see what's up. Okay. So we've got control and wrong. Guys, don't be control freaks in this. You're not going to be able to, like, if you try and control the universe, you're basically just setting up expectations for yourself. And when you have expectations, if they're not from a truly aligned place, they can really let you down. So don't worry about being wrong, I heard. Don't worry about being wrong. Just release the control of this situation and realize that they're not fucks worth giving, because you cannot immediately influence it directly. There is elements of divine timing, and there is elements of things happening behind the scenes. And this has been the case for months. All right. And yes, we are being pushed to the end of our rope with regards to our trust in the universe. But the thing is they just still need you to learn your lessons in relinquishing your desire to control things. Because when you desire controlling things, you tell the universe that you don't trust that they're going to bring good things into you. Okay? Encouragement and obligation. All right, you've got this fire inside of you here. And it's egging you forward. You worry about something that it can turn into a ball and chain, I'm hearing. But as long as you cultivate this flame within, as long as you honor your passions, as long as you are encouraging to yourself and those around you to be authentic and to use the fire inside for good, then it will never be a ball and chain. It will never be a burden. It will always be something that, in a sense, the obligation is reversed. It's not you that's obliged to do it. It's almost like the universe is obliged to give you the gifts that you deserve by doing the work that you've done. And I'm not saying that from like a demanding sense or like an entitled sense. I'm saying it from an as above, so below sense. You reap what you sow. And when you focus on your self-love and you become one within, then that's when things really truly come to fruition. Apprentice and accept what is. You are still learning this full expression of you accepting the guiles and the weirdness of the universe. All right, you're still learning, and you've still got some dark glasses on, so you're still trying not to see something for its truth. So this brings me back to the Neptune energy of earlier, but still encouraged to let it flow and accept the things that are happening, and just know that you're still learning, and you always will be, because you're a human being, and we learn until the day that we die. All right. So accept all of these things and just embrace the process. Meditate and read. Okay. I heard read the room. I heard clean off your glasses. There's encouragement from the universe for you to quiet yourself and understand what this resistance is within you. You've got to be able to read the scenario in a little bit more of a realistic sense so that you can overcome resistances. For some of you, your meditative practice, you've been neglecting it. So be sure to go get a good little meditation in. Go and have a nice long walk. Clear your mind in whatever way that you need to. Some of you guys have a book that you've been reading that you've not picked up in a while. Pick it up. There's something important for you to read in it. Aye, Captain. I heard you. Yeah. For some of you guys, if you've been looking for a resource, I'm hearing some of you guys, Dolores Cannon is going to be a very useful one for you. A friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, suggested Dolores Cannon's book, The Convoluted Universe, to me a few months ago, and I've been slowly reading it. It's quite heavy, so I slowly read it. So maybe some of you guys are gonna identify with some of Dolores's work. So check her out. But get back to yourself, get to your meditative practices so that you can It's like the more you meditate, the more you're able to clean off your glasses and see through these like beautiful clear lenses about the things that are going on around. And look, let's be honest now. It talked a lot about our need for control. A need for control only comes from our emotional connection to our future, which when is uncertain makes us nervous. Yeah, if we don't know what the future holds, well, we want to control it, whatever that we can. If we can't control when Tuesday comes, yeah, if we obviously can't make days go faster. We can't make time tick along faster. We can't, fast forward, right? We don't have one of those magic buttons like in that Adam Sandler movie. Um, so when we don't have that stability to be able to influence situations, it makes us feel insecure, and that's where we feel the need to overcompensate and try and sort of put your fingers in too many pots and stuff like that. So remember, just keep that stuff in mind. All right. Know thyself and know thy cues to course correct as necessary. Yeah. All right, my dears, this is it for me. I will see you. I'll see you tomorrow. But until then, so sorry for anything you're going through. If I've made you feel a certain way, thanks for being a beautiful being and lending your energy to the circuit that I hold so dear. Thank you to your guides, my guides, the Ascended Masters, and whatever team is involved in helping us get these clear, concise messages whenever it is that we need to find them. They are timeless, and if you are here listening to it, there's been a message for you, even if it has absolutely nothing to do with the astrology of the current moment. I love you to the moon and stars and to infinity and beyond and back, and I accept this, and I hope you do too, but if not, no biggie. Check you next time. Bye.